the Roarless Prince. In the heart of the Golden Savannah there was a young lion cub named Kenshin, son of the mighty King Raizo. But unlike his father, Kenshin wasn't fierce or bold. He was quiet, gentle, and often scared of conflict. When the other cubs wrestled and practiced roaring, Kenshin stayed behind, sketching pictures in the sand. One day a group of older cubs laughed at him. "Look, the prince with no roar," they teased. Kenshin lowered his head in shame. Deep inside he wished he could be strong like his father. One evening, Kenshin wandered deep into the forest, away from the laughter and the palace guards. There he met an old monkey named Master Toshiro, who was meditating beside a waterfall. Toshiro opened one eye and said, "Little lion, I can see the storm in your heart. But strength is not just in your claws, it's in your spirit." Kenshin blinked. "You mean I can be strong too?" The old monkey smiled. "If you are willing to learn." Through karate. From that day, Kenshin trained with Master Toshiro every morning. He learned balance, respect, focus, and how to channel his inner roar through movement. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Kenshin learned stances, kicks, and blocks. He learned that every strike began with calm, not anger. Whenever he fell, Toshiro would say, "The strongest lions are not the ones who never fall, but the ones who always rise." Kenshin's body grew stronger, but more importantly, his spirit did too. One day, a wild hyena gang invaded the outskirts of the savannah, threatening the lion pride. Kenshin's father and the warriors were away, leaving the cubs in danger. The other lions panicked, but Kenshin stepped forward. His heart pounded, yet his mind was calm. He remembered Master Toshiro's words. "Use your roar not to scare others, but to protect." With firm footing and focused eyes, Kenshin faced the hyenas. He blocked, kicked, and roared with precision and purpose. The hyenas, startled by his courage, fled back into the wild. When King Raizo returned, he found his son standing proudly at the gate. The lions cheered, not because of Kenshin's fight, but because he had become something greater. "Kenshin," his father said proudly, "you have found your roar." Kenshin bowed respectfully. "It wasn't my claws, father. It was my heart." Back under the waterfall, Kenshin trained once more with Master Toshiro. He no longer trained to prove others wrong, but to keep becoming stronger inside. The cub who once hid in the shadows now stood tall, not as just a prince, but as a lion of discipline and heart. Years have passed since Prince Kenshin found his strength through karate. He grew wiser, calmer and stronger, training daily under the rising sun, just as Master Toshiro taught him. Now the time had come. King Raizo, old and proud, stood before the pride and declared, "My son Kenshin shall be the next king of the Golden Savannah." But not all Claw clans agreed. Murmurs filled the air. From the Leopard clan, the Wolf clan, the Tiger clan. Whispers turned to shouts. "He's too young. He hasn't proven his strength. A king must protect us, not hide behind wisdom and peace." The Council of Elders stepped forward. Elder Shiro of the Wolf clan said, "If the prince wishes to rule, he must prove he is worthy. Let him join this year's World Martial Arts Tournament. Their warriors from every kingdom test their might." Kenshin bowed respectfully. "If that is what it takes to earn your trust, I will prove myself, and not with anger but with heart." The next morning Kenshin stood at the edge of the savannah, gazing toward the mountains beyond. Master Toshiro, now older but still sharp, approached. "So the world will finally see what you have become," the old monkey said. "Remember, Kenshin, karate is not about defeating others, but defeating the weakness inside you." Kenshin nodded. He packed his training sash, his father's medallion, and bowed deeply before leaving. The journey to the World Martial Arts Arena began, through deserts, jungles, and roaring rivers. Along the way, Kenshin trained every night, perfecting his mind and spirit. The day of the tournament arrived. The grand arena of claws stood tall like a mountain of stone, surrounded by flags from every clan: Leopard, Wolf, Tiger, Eagle, and even the Mountain Bear clan. The crowd roared. Warriors from all tribes entered, each stronger, faster and more skilled than Kenshin had ever faced. But Kenshin's eyes stayed calm. His heart was steady. The first challenger, Ryu of the Leopard clan. The gong sounded. A fierce, agile warrior named Ryu from the Leopard clan and stepped forward. "You call yourself the future king? Prove it, little lion." Ryu struck first, moving like lightning. Kenshin blocked, spun, and countered with grace. The battle was fast and intense, but Kenshin remembered Toshiro's words. Flow like water, strike like wind. After a final clean karate kick, Ryu was knocked to the ground. The crowd gasped. Kenshin offered his paw to help him up. A true king lifts others, even in victory, Kenshin said. Ryu bowed. You fight with honor, Prince. The second challenger, Kyle of the Wolf Clan. Next came Kale, the Wolf Clan's strongest fighter, fierce, heavy, and fast. He growled, "Let's see if the lion cub can handle the storm." The battle shook the arena. Punches, blocks, and roars echoed. Kale fought with power, but Kenshin fought with precision. He used Kale's strength against him, calm in the chaos, balanced in every strike. At last, Kenshin disarmed him with a perfect throw. The crowd erupted in cheers. Even Kale smiled through his defeat. "You've got the heart of a true warrior," he said. The final test, the spirit within. Though Kenshin had won many matches, one final challenge remained. Not against another fighter, but against himself. As the moon rose, he entered the final ring. Facing his reflection in the pool of water at the center, he saw the cub who once hid, the prince who once doubted. Then he closed his eyes and roared, not in anger, but in pure strength, courage, and peace. The sound echoed across the savannah. That was his true victory. The return of the king. Kenshin returned to the Golden Savannah. All the clans stood before him, silent, watching. Elder Shiro bowed deeply. "We were wrong to doubt you. You have proven not just strength, but the spirit of a true king." King Raizo smiled proudly. "The crown is not given by birth, but earned through courage." Kenshin knelt, and his father placed the crown upon his head. The savannah roared with pride, not for a warrior who conquered others, but for a Lion King who mastered himself. Kenshin, Rise of the Lion King, the invitation of the masters. Months after the World Martial Arts Tournament, peace had returned to the Golden Savannah. Kenshin was now crowned king of the Claw Kingdom, wise and respected. One morning, while meditating beside the waterfall where he once trained with Master Toshiro, a hawk descended with a golden scroll sealed by an ancient symbol. Kenshin unrolled it. The message read, "To King Kenshin of the Savannah, the Grand Council of Martial Masters summons you to the International Spirit Tournament, where only the world's strongest warriors gather to protect the balance of the wildlands." Master Toshiro appeared behind him, smiling softly. "This is no ordinary tournament, my king. It is the place where the greatest fighters test their spirit, and where legends are born." Kenshin bowed. "Then I will go, not to prove my power, but to protect the honor of our kingdom." Journey beyond the savannah. Kenshin journeyed far from home, across mountains, frozen tundras, and roaring oceans. He arrived at the Temple of the Five Spirits, where the tournament would begin. There he met warriors from distant lands. Rin, a graceful tiger from the eastern cliffs, master of Tai Chi. Hiro, a fierce Falcon Clan fighter, fast as wind, skilled in aerial combat. Mako, a massive Dragon Clan guardian, known for his iron fists and unmatched strength. Yara, a wise panther from the Mist Forest, silent and deadly, using stealth-based karate. The Trials of the Spirits. The International Spirit Tournament wasn't like any other. Each match tested not only strength, but heart, patience, and wisdom. First trial, the Wind Temple. Kenshin faced Hiro the Falcon in a sky-high arena where strong winds could knock anyone down. Hiro struck fast from above, wings slicing through the air. But Kenshin stayed grounded, calm like a mountain. He waited, then countered with a perfect spinning kick, using the wind itself to boost his power. Second trial, the Shadow Temple. In the darkness, Kenshin fought Yara the Panther, who vanished and reappeared like a ghost. Kenshin closed his eyes, listening, feeling her movement through sound and spirit. With pure focus, he blocked her invisible strikes. "You don't fight the shadow," he whispered. "You become the light." Yara smiled from the shadows. "You truly are a king of balance." The final duel, Kenshin versus Mako of the Dragon Clan. The final round arrived. The earth trembled as Mako, the Dragon King of the North, entered the ring. Massive, armored, his scales glimmered like fire. "You are wise, Lion King," Mako growled. "But let's see if wisdom can stand against the power of the dragon." The battle was fierce. Each strike thundered like a storm. Kenshin was pushed back again and again, his paws trembling. Then he remembered Toshiro's words. "The strongest warrior is not the one who strikes the hardest, but the one who stands again when the world falls around him." Kenshin steadied his breath. He focused his energy, his Kai, into one final pure strike. A glowing golden aura surrounded him as he shouted, "Lion spirit roar." The ground cracked beneath his feet. Mako was knocked backward. But instead of anger, he laughed and bowed deeply. "You fight not with rage, but with heart. You have truly earned the title of king." The masters of the tournament stood and declared, "The spirit of the lion reigns supreme, wisdom and courage united." Return of the king. When Kenshin returned to the Golden Savannah, all the Claw clans awaited him. He placed his paw on the sacred stone of his ancestors and spoke, "I have learned that true strength is not in muscle nor roar, but in courage, kindness, and the will to stand for what is right." The crowd bowed, roaring in unison, "Long live King Kenshin, the lion of spirit and strength." As the sun set, Master Toshiro stood beside him, whispering, "Your journey may be complete, my king, but your lessons will echo for generations." Kenshin looked out over the horizon, the golden light shining on his mane. "Then let the next generation learn that even the gentlest heart can roar the loudest." Moral of the story: true strength comes from discipline, peace, and compassion, not anger or power. A real warrior fights only to protect, never to harm. Martial arts is not about defeating others, it's about mastering yourself. Leadership is not measured by fear, but by respect and love. Benefits of martial arts for kids: develops self-discipline and emotional strength, teaches respect, peace, and self-confidence, inspires leadership and compassion, helps young minds overcome fear with courage. Message to parents: a true teacher doesn't build fighters, he builds hearts that know strength and kindness. Message to viewers: thank you for following the journey of King Kenshin. Remember, the greatest battle is not against others, but against the darkness within. Light doesn't destroy the shadow, it teaches it how to shine. Message to the crocodile in the House of Representative: mamatay na sana kayong lahat na sangkot at nakinabang sa flood control. Project mga putang ina niyong lahat.